Hello, welcome to the Free Bin, the Toledo, Oregon Public Library's podcast. I'm Harrison.
And I'm Cindy.
And Cindy has a little Father's Day surprise for us today.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see what that is. I hope you are too.
Yeah, I want to, first, before we start that, I want to talk about what's coming up at the library and what's still going on. So, summer reading program, signups are still in place. June 26th, Thursday at 10:30 is our first show. It's the reptile guy. He's bringing the snakes and the lizards and the things. I will be upstairs and you can be downstairs with the snakes.
I will be with the snakes. Okay. As usual, I will be surrounded by snakes.
By snakes. So that's cool for me. I'm not a snake person, but I will come down and stand away from the snake and look at the snake and go, oh, isn't that pretty? And then I will leave.
I'm not a snake person, but I am an animal person, so I'm okay with snakes.
Yeah, I don't know. They're just hissy. I don't know.
I'm not going to seek out a snake in my personal life, right. But if there's a snake, I'll pet the snake.
My husband warned me the other day I came home, I got out of my car and he goes, hey, I saw a really beautiful garter snake in the lawn. And I'm like, great. Where'd he go? Is he here?
And be sure to tell him that he is a good snake.
He's a good snake.
Pretty snake.
And pretty, and he can live in the bushes as long as he doesn't scare me. And then we have a really cool event coming up. Well, two, actually. Our big, beautiful book giveaway is June 28th from 10 to 4. And you can bring your own box or bag. We'll have a few things. The books are all free. And as I mentioned on the last podcast, we do not want them back. They have been withdrawn from our system, so they won't be welcome back in the building. And if you bring them back and try to pass them off as books you're donating, I will put a withdrawn stamp on your head.
And they'll be in a bit of a jumble. We'll have them laid out, but we've been doing a lot of weeding. So if you need help finding something specific, I'll be sure to make myself available to help get you what you need, because there may be some sense to be made of that pile that won't be immediately obvious.
Yeah, we've got nonfiction. We've got from all the nonfiction. We're really, really pushing to get all of our nonfiction weeded. That goes from the beginning 000s to the 999s, and which means there's books on gardening, and there's cookbooks, and there's information books, and there's biographies, and there's history books. And so if you just want to come and go through that, we're also about halfway through the fiction section, hoping to finish that. If we don't get through it, and we don't get through the mysteries and the westerns and the JF fiction, we will be doing another giveaway at some point, because we really want books in the hands of people, but we have to keep our library living and active and interactive so that people are getting new books when they want new books. And we just are running out of shelf space and we got nowhere to go.
Yeah. There's some really good stuff in there. Some of it has just been superseded, or, there various reasons. We'll be weeding things out of the collection, but I picked one off the top of the pile like 3 days ago. I found a cookbook that I liked, and I was like, oh, we don't need this one anymore, but I do.
Right. So I've taken several home. I know people have taken some, and so please come on down, see what you can see, and take some books with you. Then we have a really cool program coming up July 17th. And I know this is like a month in advance, but we really want to get the word out. We were given a grant from the Oregon Humanities grant for rural libraries to have community conversations. And so the library chose to do a 3-series event. The first event is July 17th. It's a Thursday. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. It's after hours, which is not typical for us, but we felt like this was really important. It is called Who Are We? A Conversation About Our Past. And it's specifically focusing on the history of Toledo. And the question that we are asking as part of our conversation is, what made the people of Toledo who they are today? What is our history? The good, the bad, and the ugly, And that will lead us into the second conversation, which will happen in August. That's going to talk about who we are today and what we want to be in the future. What kind of town do you want Toledo to be? And so come out and just join us for those conversations. We have as special guest panelists. We have the Toledo History Center is coming to do a broad overview of the history of Toledo in case you don't know some of those things. We have Ted Cox, who is the author of the Toledo Incident, and it's the 100-year anniversary of the Toledo Incident. If you don't know what that is, come and find out. Mm-hmm. That's a big piece of our history. Also, Ted is an amazing historian about the history of Toledo. He has so much knowledge, and he's really providing some specifics about some major events that happened in Toledo. And then we have Yaquina Pacific Railroad Historical Society is coming to give an overview of how the railroad has affected our city. And there's just so much history here that I don't think people really know. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're going to be surprised. So come on out for that. It's free. It's open to the public. We are hoping to have a question and answer period and a conversation afterwards that you can just visit with people and talk about the things you remember from the past and talk about where you want to be in the future and what kind of town we want Toledo to be. That is really what these are all about.
You know what I think we need for the future? I'm just going to float this early.
Okay.
What we need that a lot of towns of a similar size have gotten a lot of use out of is a cryptid.
A cryptid?
We do not have... We don't have a frogman or a mothman or a Loch Ness monster or a lizard man. I think if we had a cryptid...
That would be cool.
That can do a lot for
it could, man. Think of the tourism. We could get all kinds of people in here. All kinds. So looking for the Toledo turkey.
Yeah, I've seen a turkey.
A turkey.
But not cryptid level turkey.
No,
pretty normal turkey.
I know. We'd have to come
very
up
healthy
with a turkey that was cryptid, I guess. I don't know. If you can come up with a good cryptid for Toledo, let's start that rumor, okay?
Get a big dog catcher's net, like from a Looney Tunes cartoon. Go get one.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that. That would bring in tourism, whether we wanted it or not.
Yeah, I don't know. It could go wrong.
Well, Harrison brought the drink. Our beverage of the week.
Yeah. So we're rolling into June now. We're about halfway through June already. And I've been in kind of a tropical mood. So I ran over to the food fair and I got us a Parrot brand coconut milk with chunks of coconut.
Is it coconut or... Is that a coconut? That's not an apple. It's just coconut milk.
No, yeah, that's like a green coconut.
I was looking at it going, "Oh, that's chunks of apple." Okay,
yeah,
well, I don't drink a lot of coconut milk. I will tell you that straight up.
Yeah, been in a mood. Been in kind of. I've been listening to a lot of like '60s lounge exotica music. I was telling Cindy when I came back from lunch. I was trying to convince Google to play Arthur Lyman for me, and I failed miserably. And so I'm swearing at my phone in my car because it doesn't understand me, and I'm trying to listen to marimbas and bird noises.
Yeah.
And I've never felt quite so out of touch with.
Yeah. Neither Google or I are familiar with this person who has bird noises.
Oh yeah, you gotta listen to some exotica music.
I think this whole paradise thingy started where you're feeling summery and like you want something tropical started when we were talking about tiki bars the other day.
That's been a factor that's related.
Yeah. People really miss out when they don't come to the library and just hang out by the desk and listen to our weird conversations about tiki bars.
Because that's something I have not yet done. I am planning to do very soon. Never been to a tiki bar.
Yeah, I mean,
can you get that, or do you need
I'm going to need
mouse
you to
pad or something?
Yeah, no, I'm going to have you open it. My hands have been sore from all
I'm
the
sorry.
books
I
I'm
brought you
taking off the shelves.
I got you a twist top. That wasn't fair of me.
No, I'll let you open it. So,
okay.
Yeah, the tiki bar's the only one I've been to is the one in Disneyland, and I don't know if that's a true representation of tiki bars or not. Let us know.
I'm sure it's more of a tiki bar than a tiki bar is. It's Disney. The animatronics are wonderful.
All right,
let's see.
Oh, it smells like coconut. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, it tastes like coconut milk. Mm-hmm. Tastes like you imagine a coconut would taste. Is it just coconut milk, or does it have sugar? It has coconut milk, coconut juice, coconut extract, water, and sugar.
Sucrose, fatty acid esters. That's a band name. That's a great band name. Fatty acid esters, everybody.
What kind of music would they play?
I'm thinking jam band. I'm thinking some kind of like psychedelic, something with a with an overhead projector light show.
It's certainly got less sugar than the last one we had.
I like it, but at the same time, because it is so thick, it does make me feel a little like I might be drinking sunblock.
I was thinking Metamucil, but don't spit your coconut juice. Yeah, I'm not. I don't mind coconut. I'm not a pina colada person, like coconut and tropical. I'm not really, but yeah, that's coconutty. It's refreshing. I can see why they drink it, because it is refreshing.
Yeah, I'm going to finish it. I'm liking it. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm chewing coconut into the microphone over here.
I think that's what throws me off. The chunks of coconut. It makes me nervous.
Next time I'll get the one with the husk. Just bits of woody fibered.
All right.
What do we got?
Sunday is Father's Day. And first off, before we even start this, I really want to acknowledge that there are some dads that don't deserve the title of father. Mm-hmm. I just want to acknowledge that, because I think it's important that, there are people who truly can't celebrate their father on Father's Day. They truly can't celebrate their mother on Mother's Day. And we want to acknowledge that not everybody has the same experience, that not everybody has a dad who was involved or stuck around. And so I just want to acknowledge that. Some of us have lost our fathers. Mm-hmm. My dad's been gone almost 5 years, which is so hard for me to believe, and because those years have gone by so quickly. Some of us, we're missing them. I remember the first Father's Day after my dad passed away. It was about 6 or 8 months, and I went to buy a Father's Day card, and I'm like, I got nobody to buy a Father's Day card for, and it was the same way when I lost my mom, and so there's that feeling. A lot of you might be dealing with that right now, the first Father's Day after your dad is gone. Mm-hmm. Some of us don't biologically have, we don't have a relationship with our biological father, but we have fathers of our hearts, the ones that we have chosen, that have chosen to be a father in our life. And those are really special people. And we just want to talk a little bit about dads, and share a little bit of the history of Father's Day, and then I will wind us up with a Aesop's tale about dads and sons. So, okay, first though, best dads and worst dads from literature.
Okay,
we must tie this into books somehow.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so here are mine that I have chosen. And you can chime in. This is not an exhaustive list. Trust me.
No, that's all of them.
No. So do you want to start with good or bad?
Let's start with bad.
The bad.
Start with the bad news and then move up.
Jack Torrance from The Shining.
Yeah. He's not gonna hurt you. He's just gonna bash your brains in.
Thank you for sharing. No,
I don't know if that's in the book.
I don't know either, but the movie's bad enough. I've never read the book, I confess. But I think I probably saw the movie once, and the more I have learned about the filming and how horrific it was for Olive Oil. I can't think of her name. The girl who played Olive Oil.
Shelley Duvall. Somehow we both forgot Shelley Duvall's name. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick was really horrible to Shelley Duvall, we've heard. Shelley Duvall.
The whole thing was, I mean, I just vote him as bad dad.
Yeah.
Bad dad. He would take you to a deserted hotel and then go crazy. Okay. King Lear from Shakespeare. King Lear was a bad dad who, and you know, Shakespeare's got, we're thinking of the second one on this, third one on this list is Hamlet's dad.
Was Hamlet's dad bad? I thought because he was, it's been forever. Oh, yeah. So, because he's avenging his dad.
That's true.
And so I realized I didn't think much about the relationship.
Oh, that's right. It's his uncle.
It's his uncle. But I mean, Hamlet, even before his dad died, was not doing so great. No. So we don't know. Do we know what those dynamics were like before that happened? Because
that's true.
Yeah.
But, you know, Shakespeare has his share of bad dads.
Yeah.
And King Lear, who was crazy and killed everybody off. That's another one. Anyway.
Great jets, though.
Great jets? Oh, brother. Harrison.
Sorry, I'm contributing.
You are.
I'm just going to drink my juice.
Okay. Good dads.
Good dads.
These are my top three. Mr. Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. Mm-hmm. Now, the poor man has 5 daughters that he really needs to marry off and a wife that is Looney Tunes most of the time. And he manages to remain kind of this calm presence, but he really does love his daughters. And eventually the story, if you don't know it, they need to get married. The girls have very little fortune, and the estate is entailed to Mr. Collins, the cousin, he's just creepy. And but he allows his daughters to marry who they want. And I think that's a good thing. I think he's portrayed as a good father, maybe a little too ambivalent about things, but you know, he's a good dad. Mr. Weasley from Harry Potter, Ron's father. Mm-hmm. They take in Harry, and Mr. Weasley is just kind of this congenial goofball who allows his, I don't know how many children, bunch of redheads, you know, but he is very supportive of them and the choices that they make. And he takes in Harry Potter as his own son and treats him in that way. And then Bob Cratchit from A Christmas Carol.
Oh, Bob Cratchit. Yeah.
He's a good dad. And you know, my favorite character that Kermit the Frog plays. So there you go, you know.
I forgot Kermit was Bob Cratchit in that one.
He's Bob Cratchit. And he's wonderful.
So Mr. Weasley from Harry Potter, that's the family that is having to like save and use hand-me-down stuff, right? While Harry Potter just gets a bunch of top quality stuff free from the school.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And Harry has lots of money because he's the chosen one. Is he really, though? That's the question.
I never finished the books, so I have no room to speak.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I didn't care for it.
Well, I've seen the movies and read the books, and you know, in the wizarding world, he wasn't a bad guy.
I watched all the movies. I did enjoy the movies, but I didn't read the books except for the first.
Well, we won't go there. What we need is a Harry Potter
not
expert,
this episode.
And that's not this episode, but maybe someday we'll do a Harry Potter episode.
We should.
And just talk about that. Okay, so a little history of Father's Day, and this is taken from Wikipedia. So Father's Day is a holiday in honor of fathers that is celebrated in many countries around the world. It originated in the United States, and the credit for the holiday is generally given to Sonora Smart Dodd. Dodd's father, a Civil War veteran, raised her and her 5 siblings after their mother died in childbirth. And I will mention that it was 5 boys and her.
Wow.
The first Father's Day was held on, held on June 19th, 1910, the month of the birthday of Dodd's father. It became a national holiday in 1972 when President Richard Nixon signed legislation designating the third Sunday of June as Father's Day. It is celebrated with cards, gifts, and family meals, among other things. I missed something. While many other countries also celebrate the holiday on the third Sunday of June, some mark the observance at other times of the year. Notably, a number of Catholic countries celebrated on March 19th, the feast day of St. Joseph, the earthly father of Jesus. So the origins are a little different. They credit Sonoma, what a great name, Sonora Smart Dodd. They credit her, but it happened about a year before that another woman, Grace Golden Clayton, wanted to memorialize her father and the men that had died in the 1908 Manaha mining disaster.
I had to look it up and listen to somebody say it. Monongah.
Apparently, it was a huge mining disaster that had killed many, many men, and many of them were fathers in the community. So she asked that a special church service be held to commemorate her father and the others who had died. While some considered this to be the first Father's Day service, the event gained little attention outside of Fairmont, West Virginia, and it was not held the following year. So then Sonora Smart Dodd was from Spokane, Washington. She decided to hold a service for Father's Day. She came up with the idea in 1909 while listening to a sermon on Mother's Day. Local religious leaders supported Dodd's idea, and the first Father's Day was celebrated on June 19th, 1910, the month of the birthday of Dodd's father. However, and this is kind of interesting, the holiday met some resistance, particularly from men who questioned the manliness of an event connected to Mother's Day and flowers. Others saw it as a commercial gimmick. Nevertheless, the holiday began to spread across the country, and in 1924, U.S. President Calvin Coolidge gave his support to the observance. In 1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson issued a proclamation that recognized the day, and in 1972, Father's Day became a national holiday. So, men, what's up with that?
I have no answers.
Is Father's Day a big deal to you? You're a father.
Yeah, the cards were always hard.
Yeah.
Like, as, the usual cards that you get that are the pre-made Father's Day cards. Right. It's all like football, grilling, fixing the car, and all this.
Right.
And in my family, with my dad, it was like, none of this really applies to my dad. He enjoyed football games,
right.
But, when it was like the Michigan-Ohio State game, but it was like the kind of monocultural idea of fatherhood. It's still the lingering, like, kind of leave it to Beaver idea. Yeah, it's a good time to spend time with the kids, and you should always do that no matter what the day is.
Right.
But it's hard for me being like, I don't want to make a fuss either.
Right.
It doesn't occur to me to like, I don't know.
It's funny because when your kids are gone, when we were first had kids that were little, I would get the Father's Day cards, the kids with little scribbles on them, and it would be all of that. And then as our kids got older, my husband's like, I'm not your father. So don't do that. My kids will do that. And our kids are really pretty good about that. They call or they wish him happy Father's Day, but we have always been pretty low key. We always, we go out to dinner or we grill something or we do something, that's special that he wants to do. But in general, it's like Mother's Day is celebrated the same way. My kids wish me Mother's Day, give me a present, which is fine. And then I get to pick where we go to dinner, so they're pretty low key at our house. And I think though, it's really good just to take a minute, and remember somebody. And it might be a hard minute for people to remember that parent, but to just take a minute and and think that in terms of biology, I would not be here without my dad. Mm-hmm. Whether I have a relationship with him or not, there is something to be said for that moment that I have. This is my DNA. This is my... But on the flip side of that, if you don't have a father that was there, a biological father, and you have an adoptive father or even just a father figure that you dearly love in your life, celebrate them, because the fathering is not the the sperm and the egg. Mm-hmm. That's not the fathering. Mm-hmm. The fathering is what happens after that. So
I think
some thoughts.
Yeah. And I think I can articulate what was rolling around in my head earlier a little better. It's fascinating to see that initially there was some resistance from somewhere in the culture about the idea of celebrating fatherhood not being manly enough. When I was a kid, like the idea of Father's Day was very, very closely wrapped up into like the very stereotypical images of manhood. Mm-hmm. And I had a great relationship with my dad. We had, we butted heads on some things, but he just, he was more countercultural than monocultural. And so the things that the market provides to celebrate fathers often don't match that. Yeah. So yeah, it's just interesting that like the ideals of society are many and moving targets. And you could do anything and somebody's going to say it's not manly enough. Right. Like no matter what it is. Yeah. And if you do the opposite, the same thing will get said because just relax, be secure in yourself. Yeah. Take care of your kids and
be the dad that they need,
And don't complain if you get flowers.
Yeah.
Your kids love you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. My dad was, I think, felt he was not a demonstrative person. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't a hugger. You knew he loved you because he would, put gas in your car and fix things that got broke and pick you up at midnight when your car broke down or, all of those are from personal experience. So I think he felt like awkward when we're showering him with whatever and I remember as a kid, the big gift that we gave him was like a coupon book that we made ourselves. Mm-hmm. So like, now I look back and go, I wouldn't have wanted to get that. Things like, one coupon for a walk with Cindy in the park, who's benefiting from that? Or one coupon for chocolate ice cream that you buy me. I mean, so yeah, those were the days when I had no money and that's just what you did.
I'm surprised that it wasn't until 1972 that it was.
It was kind of a long haul. I mean, in 24, Calvin Coolidge said, let's observe this day. And that was not quite 20 years after, it was 14 years after the first one. And so somebody was lobbying for this to happen, and then eventually,
so if you really want to
60s.
Yeah. So if you really want to make Father's Day awkward, what you do is you get flowers and you give them to your dad and you say, Richard Nixon said I should give you these. And then you just
leave it
just
at that.
Wait and see how he responds. It'll be interesting.
There you go. Okay, well, we're going to close this off. It is, we are we are taping a little bit late in the day. So.
I'm not. Are you filming? Are you secretly filming this? Are you recording this?
I'm filming it, yeah.
Is somebody recording this?
With the hidden camera that we don't have because it's hidden. This is an Aesop's fable. And I thought it was kind of interesting. This is always a good lesson for everybody. It's called Fathers and Sons. And here it is. A certain man had several sons who were always quarreling with one another, and try as he might, he could not get them to live together in harmony. So he determined to convince them of their folly by the following means. Bidding them fetch a bundle of sticks, he invited each in turn to break it across his knee. All tried, and all failed. And then he undid the bundle and handed them the sticks one by one. And when they had no difficulty at all in breaking them, "There, my boys," he said, "united you will be more than a match." Let me say that again. "United, you will be more than a match for your enemies. But if you quarrel and separate, your weakness will put you at the mercy of those who attack you." Aesop, nice. Obviously the problems were still problems back then. Mm-hmm. With unity and together we are stronger. And that's kind of a saying we hear a lot, but even Aesop had it figured out.
Yep.
So that's the only Aesop's table I could find about fathers and son, and that was public domain.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. I had heard this one, and I think there was a rewrite of it, I think, as a Chinese fairy tale or similar one. I think every culture has its whole, Aesop fable kind of thing. Every culture has a fable.
I think all the Aesop and related stories of antiquity that I know probably comes from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Probably, for sure.
I don't think I've ever sat and read through like the whole catalog.
Or
that's good.
Muppet Theater. Muppet Classic Theater had Aesop's fables. And oh man, I wonder if you can get those somewhere. We had them on VHS. Yeah, those are great. Great.
Thank you, Cindy.
Well, you're welcome. And happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there that are working hard. And we wish you well.
Yes. Happy Father's Day. And we will talk to you all next week.
Bye.
Bye. The Free Bin is a production of the Toledo Public Library, which is part of the Lincoln County Library District in beautiful Lincoln County, Oregon. Writing by Cindy Balek and Harrison Baker. Original music and editing by Harrison Baker. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect those of any organization they represent. Good night.